The Urban League of the State of Arkansas is an affiliate of the National Urban League, a historic civil rights organization founded in 1910 and dedicated to economic empowerment in order to elevate the standard of living in historically underserved urban communities. The Urban League of Arkansas plays a critical role in obtaining and advancing equal opportunities for all citizens, with a concerted focus on the areas of health, education, jobs, and housing. In order to better understand how the organization's role has and will continue to evolve, it is important to examine the Arkansas Urban League's past, present, and future. Here to lend their expertise and perspective are several local community leaders and business professionals.
The Urban League of Arkansas actually started as a sponsoring committee some 8 years ago. We were approved officially as a new Urban League affiliate by the National Board of the Urban League in November of 2014. And as we move forward, it's essential that local communities not only understand what we're doing, but understand why we're doing it, and understand what it means to and for them.
The Urban League of Arkansas has continued to grow and evolve in significant ways since the Board of Directors of the National Urban League made it an official affiliate in 2014 after several years of local activists laying the groundwork.
For the most part, we were successful in attaining the goals. Our fundraising challenge was and remains to raise $500,000 a year in order to implement the programs that we must implement, and in order to be in a position of paying for staff.
It's hard to believe that almost 30 years ago, what is now recognized as the Arkansas Urban League only existed in the Little Rock area. It now has satellite offices in Springdale and Helena, West Helena. But it's impossible to fully qualify or quantify the organization's milestones without first examining its deeper historical roots.
Well, I'm not a statistician, but the Urban League started in 1921, I believe. I didn't bring my notes with me like I should have, but I know that my mother was born in 1912, and it was during that era that she was being born that the Urban League was being born. So the Urban League was an agent its mission was to create quality housing, jobs. And what came first? You had to have jobs before you could purchase a house. But also it wanted to develop political status. The Urban League in Little Rock, when it was started, it was an affiliate of the National. And the National is over 100 years old. So it was related to institutions that were close to it. The leaders of the Urban League at that time primarily were people who were either in the ministerial positions, business positions, or educators. Those were the people that came together who had enough understanding and had enough faith and belief in participatory democracy that they said this organization shall be the organization to make it possible for all of the people in the Urban League.
In September of 2016, the Arkansas Urban League released a report on the state of African Americans and Hispanics in Arkansas. This report revealed that health insurance, affordable housing, higher education opportunities, and income were lacking for minorities in Arkansas. Armed with this information, the Urban League of Arkansas developed a plan of action, and it's evident in the strides that it has made for underserved populations around the state. A vital part of the Arkansas Urban League's ability to continue making progress and improving the lives of underserved populations throughout Arkansas is the Young Professionals Association.
So AULYP, first we have two groups, one in Central Arkansas and have a group in Northwest. And our role is basically to support our affiliate in fundraising initiatives as well as program and volunteer efforts. We act as an arm. We often call ourselves the do tank. of the Urban League. So as they come up with programs, we're always there to volunteer, offer our time, offer our members, and support our affiliate any way we can. So here in Central Arkansas, this first year for us has been all about service. We work with several organizations as volunteers. We often tell people all the time, you can call us whenever you need volunteers. If you need somebody to come out, just have bodies, you can call us. Specifically, we've hosted 2 job fairs this year, and those job fairs were dedicated to citizens who are re-entering. That was really important that we focus on that demographic. And so we've been able to get 12 people hired, backpack giveaways, mentoring programs, tutoring programs. Just any way we can volunteer and serve the community is kind of how we want to have our impact. My biggest accomplishment, so I'll give 2 answers. The one I'm most proud of is absolutely being able to work with the Good Grid and get those 12 re-entering citizens hired. That's the one I'm most proud of. My biggest accomplishment, 1,500 hours of community service in 8 months. Even thinking about it now, it's just amazing. So on average, every single one of our members averaged 40 hours of community service. That's an entire work week of volunteerism. That is our biggest accomplishment.
The mission of the Arkansas Urban League is to advance economic and social prosperity for African Americans and other underserved Arkansans by creating access to opportunity through advocacy, community partnerships, programs, and services. Those efforts impact 4 key areas: health, economics, education, and housing. Quality of life starts with health, for individuals and for families. The Arkansas Urban League provides underserved communities with sustainable programs that create greater access to health care and advocate for the elimination of health disparities.
You know, they've done several health fairs around the state. They've really targeted between Northwest Arkansas, Eastern Arkansas, and Central Arkansas, pushing out the health fairs, just bringing communities together, bringing big insurance companies, other people inside back to a targeted area where they can pull people in, talk about, just day-to-day, really good health habits. And as long as they push the good health habits, they feel like they can, educate the people a little bit more, get their daily health just a little bit under control, which also prevents, those really mass catastrophes as far as healthcare. And unfortunately, when you have something like that costs you a whole lot of money, there's a lot of things and personal setbacks that come from those if you don't really address those on a day-to-day basis. So really the health initiative going out and creating those health fairs, I think it's a great thing for the local communities where they're serving those.
The foundation of a healthy economy is workforce development, entrepreneurship, and jobs. The Urban League of Arkansas works to create and maintain an empowered workforce through business support services, enhanced learning, recruitment, and retention opportunities. The ultimate goal is to encourage entrepreneurialism and sustainable employment.
And it kind of kindles everything from those other events. But I think really the big work initiatives really go back for just those personal connections, people back with the community, back with the key holders in those different communities. It's really cool to see just from those conversations what else kicks off from there.
Well, the Urban League, number one, feels very strongly about the importance of education. But bottom line, the Urban League of Arkansas looks at education more broadly. It's not just the traditional classroom setting when you talk about education. You're also talking about the expansion of education. You're talking about vocational education. You're talking about trades and skills in educating youngsters. Bottom line is making certain that each and every individual has the opportunity to an educational focus that will allow them to be able to be self-sufficient, take care of themselves and their families later.
Access to quality education is a basic human right. It reduces poverty, helps to eradicate child labor, and provides individuals with the tools for lifelong success. The Arkansas Urban League provides youth and adults with education opportunities through programs, scholarships, and strategic partnerships.
So that's why I say it's more than just traditional K through 12 and then college. It could be skill training, it could be vocational education, it could be trades. All of that is considered education, and the bottom line, you're educating the individual to be able to take care of themselves and their families and make contributions to society.
Housing and community development provide asset building tools to individuals and families through home ownership and financial education programs that teach the value of wealth management.
Yeah, the Urban League does provide tools to help in that area. Number one, I think we all agree that home ownership is probably the single most valuable asset that an individual or family can have. I mean, because it's an asset that tends to grow in value. It's an asset that you can pass down from generation to generation. And for many individuals, that may be the only tangible asset that they have, and that's owning a home. So that's very important.
It is important for Arkansans to recognize that while the Arkansas Urban League seeks to help minorities and other members of underserved populations, the challenges these communities face is not their burden to bear alone. It is the state's responsibility, and indeed in its best interest, to combat socioeconomic imbalances, shortages in affordable housing, underemployment, lack of educational opportunity, and level of uninsured. Education and opportunity are two of the best tools to fight inequity.
Yeah, so I encourage anybody, no matter what age, whether you're YP, whether you're Guild, whether you're with the affiliate, to get involved with the Urban League.
You can't beat relationships, especially with elders. I take so much out of that because they have lived through so much more. I mean, you could sit around and I could listen to her talk all day long, every day. And just being around folks like that, it makes your heart feel good.
I think we've overcome that negative image. And the new image is that we have taken the data to see that there is a need today for an urban league with a mission to enhance job opportunities, to upgrade fair housing, fair affordable housing, to increase the diversity of education.
Urban League is a social service agency that tries to help individuals meet their needs across the board, whatever those needs may be, to help that individual then become the best they can be at whatever it is they desire and want to be.
We need people who are willing to support and work with the Urban League affiliate all across the state. And so that membership and those memberships and that support is critically important. Anybody that's interested in the Urban League can get involved simply by calling the Urban League office, which is located at 3805 West 12th Street, or going by the office and seeing Ken Wade, who is our interim executive director, or they can call or contact me as chairman of the board of the Urban League of Arkansas, and I'll be happy to visit with them.